We got a special day today. We have two incredible athletes, incredible riders that are gonna share their insight on wing foiling for you to live your best life in 2021. So tune in, get ready, here we go. Thank you so much, you amazing people out there, for tuning back in, liking and subscribing. Gwen and I appreciate you. Today's an exciting one. Some of my closest friends, incredible humans. We have Keahi and Aboitiz and Evan Netsch, incredibly talented athletes. Look them up, absolutely amazing people, super talented, world champions, watermen like no other. That's all I can say. And I remember when Evan was like this big and he was like flying a trainer kite and he was dragging around on a cone at Hatteras Island Surf Shop. So let's get to it. So Evan and Keahi are gonna give you, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, they're gonna give you kind of a great piece of knowledge that they've learned in their wing foiling to help you better your wing foiling in the future. So let's hear it from these two amazing humans, and we can't thank them more. So
take some time just flying the wing on the beach, standing in the stand static, and getting a feel for how the wing responds to the wind. You know, use your front hand kind of as that fixed point. That's essentially your chicken loop in kiteboarding terms. And your back hand is gonna be you sheeting in and powering up. And just hold the wing, walk around with it, really get comfortable with how it flies in the wing or in the wind. That way you get in the water, you're comfortable generating power, and everything's a lot more intuitive, and you can really focus on getting onto your feet and trying to ride versus figuring out where there's power and where there's not, and how to release power. So I would say number one is get comfortable with the wing, fly it on the land, and just get in tune with it. The second thing I would say is, you know, pick your first or second day pretty carefully. Like, find a day that's not super light wind, but not too extreme either. If it's really windy or you're in a spot with more of like exposed water and open ocean where there's more rolling waves and swell, you know, on the wingboard, you know, you're essentially gonna have to start sitting and on your knees and then slowly standing up. And if you have a lot of water moving, that can be pretty challenging to do. And if the wind's really light as well, it's gonna be hard initially to get the efficiency you want out of the wing to get up on foil. So I would say find a day that's blowing 15 or 18 miles an hour. That way you can be pretty powered and you don't need to be as efficient with the wing. You can kind of stand there. Hopefully the water's pretty flat. Find a spot that's maybe a little more sheltered from more wave action, but you still have wind. That way you can really focus on having flatter water, steady conditions, get yourself comfortable standing on the board, sheet in, and have quite a lot of power. That way it picks you up on the foil easier, as opposed to being very efficient with the wing, which naturally anybody when they're beginning, you're not gonna have that efficiency. So pick the right day. That way everything will come together a little quickly, but put that foundation into place first by spending some time flying the wing on the beach. So I think anyone that I'm teaching, first timer or just kind of new to winging, yeah, I'd certainly want to make sure they've got that foundation and good conditions to do it in their first time.
For me, I think one of the things that most attracts me to wing foiling is the ability to get out and ride a wave. I always tell people it's the closest thing to tow foiling that I've done, because it allows you to pick up a swell way out to sea. It doesn't need to be braking. You can ride into it and then just kill the power and surf the wave. And I think that's kind of the ultimate thing we're all looking for in foiling. For anyone that's looking to graduate from flat water into wave riding with a wing foil, I think the biggest key is just easing yourself into it slowly, starting on a smaller wave, ideally something a little more mellow that's not too steep, because that'll allow you just a nice, easy transition. You're not gonna go straight into a steep wave and feel like you're just getting launched off the foil with that added lift. So I think the biggest key is just kind of easing into it. What I like to do is when I'm on a wave, you're always just looking for that nice angled slope. You don't want it to be too steep. You just want to keep yourself where there is that nice angled slope and keep yourself in that sweet spot of the wave. If you find yourself outrunning it into the flats and losing your power, you're doing a small turn back into the power. If you find like you're falling off the back, then you want to just lower yourself down the wave slightly and just keep yourself in that sweet spot. As you turn, you can bottom turn into the flats. You can always kind of carry that speed through as long as you bring yourself back to that nice, powerful part of the wave. Another thing I find helps is, if you can, finding somewhere that's a little bit more side shore. Even side offshore wind is nice, because that's kind of the ideal wind where you can just grab the front handle, park it, and basically do nothing and just surf. I think a good way to start getting into riding waves with a wing foil is just getting comfortable riding on flat water, riding along, building up speed, grabbing the front handle, killing that power, and just getting a feeling of that little bit of glide. If you want to start doing it in a little bit more choppy water, you'll even start to feel just the little bit of influence some of those chops have. So you can kind of get on a chop, kill the power, you'll probably feel that glide, and it'll give you a little bit of a feeling of what a wave is going to feel like. From there, I think it's all about just finding the right waves, something nice and mellow ideally. If you can just find a knee to waist high, very slow moving, just a nice gradual slope, and that's just the best entry into it. It's just going to be something predictable, and from there, it's just learning to drop the wing, get comfortable, and just keep yourself in the sweet spot of the wave.
So a tip for a beginner winger who's up and they're foiling, winging, but maybe still working on connecting their turns and getting comfortable, is actually exactly where my dad's at in his winging. He's been winging now. He started this spring. He's a few months into it. He has a bit of a foiling background and actually a lot of windsurfing background, but he's still putting it all together. And I think for him, taking him out in the water, one, I see him struggling with his jibes a little bit, not keeping his speed and not completing his turn. And so I've been trying to help him out a little bit there. And I think that's just a lot of follow through and really getting in tune with the wing. Like when you go into a jibe, I really try to, you don't want to edge the foil like a twin tip, stay nice and vertical and really ride the foil efficiently. You don't always need power in the wing, which is really nice. So I think for someone to learn how to wing and how to deal with wind holes or no power in the wing, that's the beauty of winging. It works well in gusty conditions and marginal conditions, and having someone that's just learning figure out, hey, I can actually drop the wing and just glide with the foil. That gives you a lot of freedom, and that helps you in your turn. That helps you in a lot of areas. So I'd say for a beginner, you should really practice riding along and letting the power out of the wing and just glide and feel that foil, and maybe putting a little bit of pump into the foil and then bringing that power back in the wing. And that's going to help you in gusty wind, in your transition. You can do a jibe, and when you do that jibe, you're going to lose all the power in the wing, and it doesn't need to be a rush to get yourself situated to go the other direction. You can take your time. Foils have a lot of glide. You can cruise through your turn and then re-engage the wing kind of when you're ready, and learning what to expect out of the hydrofoil you're using, how much glide you get, and learning that everything can happen slower gives you more time with the wing, which is going to help you, I think, in all aspects of your riding, and especially doing your transitions and doing your jibes. So I'd say my biggest tip for anyone who's just starting to progress their riding is focus on the foil for a minute and focus on gliding without the power. Drop that wing and then re-engage the power. Drop it and re-engage it, and that's going to really bring your winging to the next level of wave riding, of transitions and everything, because winging is a blend of creating power between the wing and creating power in the water and the hydrofoil that you have.
Thank you, Evan and Keahi. You guys are incredibly talented. Thank you for that. I know everybody's super grateful for you. And look, everybody out there, go subscribe to their YouTubes and Instagrams and Facebooks and whatever else, all those social medias, because those guys are incredible humans doing incredible things. So make sure to tune in and follow them. On that note, everybody have a wonderful day. Go out there, give somebody a hug, tell them they look nice. Just make somebody's day, man. This is a beautiful world. We got a lot of good things happening. Even though there's a lot of negativity, you can share positivity with Gwen and myself. Let's keep pushing it. So thank you, Evan and Keahi. Everybody have the best day ever. Until next time, like and subscribe. Woo!